Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to the WWE 2K15 Universe Mode, and this, which is our next episode of Monday Night Raw. And as you can see by the calendar there, WWF Retro roster is now completely gone. We had our finale episode yesterday, so be sure to check that out. You can find a link to the Retro playlist in the description below. But let's have a quick look at the card I've got set for you this evening. We're going to start things off with another Hell in a Cell qualifying match. We'll see Roman Reigns taking on Seth Rollins. And another Hell in a Cell qualifying match, Alberto Del Rio taking on Dolph Ziggler. We'll see Bray Wyatt, who's going to be accompanied to the ring by Erick Rowan, taking on the Undertaker, who will be accompanied to the ring by Kane. We'll see the guys that have been rubbing each other the wrong way recently, Sheamus and Chris Jericho, teaming together here against the Primetime Players. Cody Rhodes faces off against Mr. Money in the Bank, Finn Balor. And our main event this evening will be Bad News Barrett versus Kevin Owens. So without further ado, let's get straight into our first match of the evening. And our first match, as I said, will be Roman Reigns taking on Seth Rollins. The winner will go on to Hell in a Cell to face John Cena in that six-man cell match for the WWE Championship. And here we go. Rollins and Reigns, both former members of the Shield. And one of these two guys will be going on to join John Cena, Ryback and Randy Orton in that Hell in a Cell in 3 weeks' time, facing off for that WWE Championship. It's going to be a very difficult title defense, that for Cena. We've seen him successfully defend the belts in a fatal four-way match before, but having to defend his belt against 5 other guys inside the cell structure is going to be incredibly difficult for him. Especially, we know, big guys like Ryback and a very experienced guy in the shape of Randy Orton in there as well. And of course, we're going to find out the next 2 participants this evening. And then one more place will be decided next week. I'm sure Seth Rollins last year actually had a Hell in a Cell match against Dean Ambrose. So it's not an alien concept to him either. I think it is for Roman Reigns. However, Roman Reigns does have a Hell in a Cell match coming up in real life against Bray Wyatt, I believe, at the next pay-per-view, so be sure to check that one out as well. Also, at our Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, we know that Dean Ambrose... Sorry, nothing about Dean Ambrose, sorry. We know that Kevin Owens will be facing off against Bad News Barrett. That feud built up from our pay-per-view a couple of weeks ago when Kevin Owens was due to get his rematch for the United States Championship, but Bad News Barrett attacked him backstage before the match and took his place. And there will be some sort of match going on between The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt as well. I've already got it down here of what I want to do, but all will become clear over the next few weeks. You have to keep an eye out for that. Of course, we are going to try and upload more Universe Mode a bit quicker now, since we're coming up to 2K16's release in about 2 weeks' time. I'm going to try and get all the finale episodes done before 2K16 is released, and that means for me recording a lot more episodes. Of course, Retro roster is gone now, so that's going to be one less episode a week, and next week we will see the finale of Combat Zone Wrestling as well. My aim is to try and have our Attitude Era and our Combat Zone Wrestling pay-per-views uploaded this weekend, so that'll be 2 weeks worth of footage by the end of this weekend. That is my aim. Should I get there? It's a different story, but I'm hoping we'll get there. And then once that's done, of course, Combat Zone Wrestling will be finale'd as well, leaving only, was it 4 weekly shows per week. So it's really going to reduce and allow us to plough through some of the other episodes and get them uploaded as quickly as possible for you guys. And then, of course, as soon as 2K16 comes out on... I'm in the UK. I believe people in America get the game before us on the 27th, I think it is. But we get it here in the UK on the 30th of... the 30th of October. I'm not quite sure what's happening here. Roman Reigns having a discussion with the referee. And finally, Reigns and Rollins clash here again. Rollins with that snap suplex on Roman Reigns. Rollins straight back up to his feet and now surveying the damage done on Roman Reigns. Pulling him into the middle of the ring. Going in for the pin. Only a 1 count. Rollins now thrown Reigns into that corner. Spins him round, went for the running forearm, but Reigns managed to avoid it, squeezing out that corner. Remember, John Cena must have he's held the WWE Championship here in this current day roster for all but 1 month of the Universe Mode. I think he lost it at the very first pay-per-view to Daniel Bryan, but then he had a rematch the very next month and won the belt back, and he successfully defended it against all comers since then. Of course, most recently defeating Cesaro at our previous pay-per-view. Seth Rollins with the Seth Walker. Is this all? It is. Seth Rollins is going on to Hell in a Cell to join 5 other guys. Sorry, 6 other guys inside that cell structure, fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship, John Cena's World Heavyweight Championship. And in the battle of former Shield members, here you see Seth finishing Reigns off with that Seth Walker. Seth will be very, very happy with this victory. Building a bit of momentum here. Moving on in 3 weeks' time to Hell in a Cell. Of course, be sure to subscribe for this channel to get a little buzz when that video is uploaded. It will be uploaded, I'm hoping, at the latest next weekend, maybe even earlier, if I can get my act together. And our second match here this evening is another of the Hell in a Cell qualifier matches as Alberto Del Rio takes on Dolph Ziggler. And here we go, Ziggler and Del Rio both fighting for a place in the main event of our Hell in a Cell pay-per-view in 3 weeks' time, as John Cena defends his belt in that 6-man Hell in a Cell match. We now know, of course, after the last match that Cena will be locked inside the cell with Ryback, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, and of course the winner of this match as well. And there'll be one more match next week to define the 6th person. Not quite sure who's going to be in that one as yet. I've got people in mind, but I'm wondering whether I might be doing a bigger, maybe like a 4-man match, just to try and give everyone an opportunity. Not sure yet. There's a lot of big guys that could be in there. And Ziggler will be one of the guys that's hoping to be in there as well. He's not happy. Well, both these guys, really. Ziggler, of course, held the Intercontinental Championship for a long time in this Universe Mode. Lost it a couple of months ago to Big E Langston, which surprised me because Ziggler had defended the belt against much stronger competitors in previous pay-per-views. However, since then he had a shot at the United States Championship at our last pay-per-view a couple of weeks back with no luck. And this is his chance to really get himself up to the main event standard that we all want him to be. And of course, Del Rio has not had a lot in this Universe Mode at all, really, in the WWE. Of course, he is in several rosters. He's in Global Force Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and WWE. But this is one roster that he's really struggled to get onto. And of course, he'll be hoping here this evening to try and take his opportunity to get himself in that big main event for an opportunity to face off against Cena for the championship. And Del Rio starting early to work on that arm. We know he likes to lock in the cross arm breaker as a finisher maneuver. And by working on the arm and doing damage to that, that's really going to help him pile the pressure onto Dolph Ziggler if he does get the opportunity to lock the arm bar in. Ziggler now with a headlock, but no. Del Rio reverses, tripping Ziggler and sending him face first into the mat. Another drop kick to the side of the head of Dolph Ziggler as well. Del Rio brings him back up to his feet and big chop and follow up with some strikes, but Ziggler catches Del Rio in the Fameasser. Rolls him over in the pin. One. Only a 1 count. Not enough to keep Del Rio down yet. Great step up into Guri there by Del Rio. Sends Ziggler down, and Ziggler looks a bit out here, and Del Rio continues to work on the arm. Very wise move indeed for Del Rio. Ziggler with a beautiful dropkick. Del Rio flying backwards. And there has been rumours of recent that WWE are looking to take Del Rio back on. I think they're struggling in the Mexican markets for sales and for TV viewings as well. I think that's ratings. That's the phrase, not TV viewings, ratings. And they're saying they haven't got a big presence, a big Mexican presence on the roster. There's not a lot. There's been rumours that they're looking to bring Carlito back, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. And if it does happen, I'm not sure quite how much of a draw Carlito would be, but bringing somebody like Del Rio back would be very interesting. It's obviously we all know the reasons why he left in the first place, and obviously they're going to sort of not so much go back on their word, but obviously he was sacked for a reason, and it seems a bit odd to try and bring him back in. But then again, he sells well. He's exactly what they're looking for, and he's going to really help them pursue the Mexican market again. Del Rio picks up a 2 count over Dolph Ziggler. And from what I've read, talks have been ongoing between the two parties for a while now, and it's not completely against the odds for it to happen, really. Ziggler just launching Del Rio over the top rope. Del Rio crashes out to the mat hard. Ziggler got planned here now, bringing Del Rio towards that corner. Ziggler puts Del Rio into that corner. Del Rio stumbling around there. Ziggler spears Del Rio through the corner of the apron. Del Rio takes some serious damage here. Ziggler slides back into the ring. Referee still counting. Del Rio could no. Del Rio's back up to his feet. Is he going to make it back in the ring in time? He does. And Ziggler's doing a handstand. Del Rio just looking at him like, what are you doing? And Del Rio catches Ziggler straight away in the cross arm breaker. Del Rio locking Ziggler into the arm breaker. He's done a lot of work on that arm already so far this match, but Ziggler manages to fight his way out. And Ziggler caught showboating there by Del Rio and locked him straight into the armbar, but luckily for Ziggler, it looks like he can... it's not affected him too much. Of course, both these guys will be feeling the effects now. Del Rio been speared through that corner, and Ziggler's arm must be giving a bit of jip as well. You've got to think if Del Rio could lock in that cross arm breaker again, then Ziggler be in some serious trouble. Both these guys locking up again now in the middle of the ring. Ziggler comes out on top and now locking a submission of his own. And this could be all here. The damage that Ziggler did to Del Rio's back as he ploughed him through that corner was enough to make Del Rio tap out. And Dolph Ziggler is joining. Well, he's joining at the moment Cena, Ryback, Randy Orton and Seth Rollins in that Hell in a Cell structure in 3 weeks' time. You'll have to tune in next week to find out who the final member of that match is going to be. And this was Ziggler here, showboating, then got caught in the cross arm breaker by Del Rio straight away. That was a really bad replay of nothing. And Ziggler, you see, locking the submission, just pushing the knee into the middle of the back and wrenching back at the head. See, the damage to Del Rio's back was done as Ziggler speared him through that corner of the barrier. And Ziggler showing the sort of mean streak he has, the sort of mean streak he's going to need to get through a Hell in a Cell match. It's not going to be easy at all for him. And I think next week we might give quite a few guys an opportunity, have a bit of a wild card to make their way into this main event match at Hell in a Cell. But like I said, you have to tune in next week to see exactly who's been put forward for that one. And our next match here this evening will be Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker, and Erick, Rowan and Kane will both be at ringside. And here we go, we are underway, and these two guys have been going at it now for a couple of months already, and this feud doesn't look like it's near ending yet. However, I do have plans for Hell in a Cell, I'll tell you that now. And they will become evident over the next few weeks. But just wondering now in this match, what sort of effect are the likes of Erick, Rowan and Kane going to have here at ringside? I can't imagine they're just here to cheer him on. I think at any opportunity they're going to get to influence the match in their in the favour of their partner, I think he's going to be taken. And it's just down to how long it is before the referee sees it too much. Undertaker can control this match at the moment with some elbows to the shoulders of Bray Wyatt. And that brings Bray Wyatt back up to his feet via his neck, and these two guys locking up again, and these two guys have fought that much over the last couple of months that they're starting to learn each other's styles so well that you may see a lot of reversals in this match. Bray Wyatt now around the back of Undertaker. Undertaker again tripping him, and just to get another cheap plug-in, of course we recorded our Retro Rosters finale episode yesterday. It was uploaded. It's Starcade. Be sure to check that out. You can find a link to the Retro Roster playlist in the description below. It was a fantastic pay-per-view, and I was surprised by quite a few of the results. Of course, we had the Tag Team Championships defended, as the Blade Runners defended against the Legion of Doom. The Intercontinental Championship was defended when Roddy Piper went one-on-one with the King of the Ring, Mr. Perfect. And of course, Hulk Hogan defended his World Heavyweight Championship in a fatal four-way elimination match against Bret Hart, Ric Flair, and The Undertaker. So again, be sure to check that out. It was a great pay-per-view. And that is it now for the Retro Roster until 2K16 comes out. Pin here for Bray Wyatt, only for a 2 count. And we saw just moments ago while I was talking, Kane distracting the referee while Bray Wyatt was trying to get the pin. And talking up, Bray Wyatt going for pins. There's the Sister Abigail. Wyatt pulling the Undertaker into the middle of the ring. Going for the pin. 1, 2, and 3. And this is all. Bray Wyatt picks up the victory here of the Undertaker. Not much Kane could do at ringside. He'd already been reprimanded once by the referee. And Bray Wyatt picks up a quick victory here over the Undertaker. But I should imagine over the next few weeks, what we're going to do at Hell in a Cell is going to become more and more clear. And there's going to be one very exciting twist, I'll tell you that now. So be sure to keep an eye on this current day roster universe mode we're currently running here. Of course, big finale of this one's going to happen in the next few weeks as well. We're going to have one more pay-per-view after Hell in a Cell in theory. As you see, Bray Wyatt just laughing to himself. And the ominous figure of Erick Rowan stands behind him.
The buzzer.
And our next match here this evening will be the Primetime Players taking on two guys that are currently not getting on too well. Sheamus and Chris Jericho. And as you see here from the offset, Sheamus and Jericho arguing about who's going to start this match. And it looks like Jericho is getting his way. And I'm not quite sure what the management here in WWE are hoping to achieve from this. They know that tensions are high between Chris Jericho and Sheamus. So to put them in a tag team match against the former tag team champions in the universe mode here, the Primetime Players, I'm not quite sure what their motive is behind this. Unless they're just hoping the whole thing implodes, which is very possible of doing as Jericho tags Sheamus in. Sheamus with that tilt-a-whirl slam on Darren Young. And an elbow drop as well. And of course, Sheamus and Jericho are both fantastic individual wrestlers, but not known as a tag team really. I think in a situation one-on-one with these, with the Primetime Players, I think Sheamus and Jericho will probably come out on top, but as a tag team, the Primetime Players are very well versed to working together, and they know what everyone's thinking. They know about the tag team philosophy and how to win tag team matches. That's really going to help them as well. So this may seem like a one-sided match from the offset, but I think we'll all be surprised really. As Sheamus catches Darren Young. Darren Young was going to his corner to make a tag, but Sheamus caught him in a fall-away slam. A near 1 count. And Titus O'Neil's somebody that I'd like to use a bit more next year in a bit of singles competition as well. I really like both of these guys, and I think they're a great tag team, but I like seeing them both in a bit of singles competition. I think Titus O'Neil has got the he's got the charisma to be a bit higher up the card, and he is. When these two guys are playing faces, Titus O'Neil can get incredibly over. As can Darren Young, actually. They're both fantastic competitors, and I think it's about time the Primetime Players got a bit more exposure. Pushed a bit higher up the tag team sort of rankings, really, because it's difficult at the moment because you've got a lot of tag teams in the WWE, but no one's really... of course, the whole thing at the moment is being dominated by the New Day and, of course, the Dudley Boys, and the Primetime players get put to one side. Of course, the Usos are going to return soon as well. So it's difficult for them, really, but I really think they deserve to be a bit higher up. They're a very good team, and the fans do really get behind them. I think I know we have just seen a feud, haven't we, between the New Day and Primetime players, actually, but I think that's something they can continue on. Jericho went for a top rope lion salt there, but Titus O'Neil managed to avoid it, and now picking up the pieces of Jericho, who crashed and burned. Oh, but Sheamus grabbing a hold of Titus O'Neil, allowing Jericho to get back up his feet, and some very clever tag team work there by the unusual team of Sheamus and Jericho. And now Jericho turns Titus O'Neil over, and there's the Walls of Jericho. Perfect ring positioning. Sheamus comes in and tries to take Darren Young out, but Darren managed to slip behind him. Quick roll up here by Jericho. Only a 1 count. Jericho with the running forearm on Titus O'Neil as well, and Jericho again locking in that Walls of Jericho on Titus O'Neil, and Titus taps out, and Jericho and Sheamus pick up a victory here, an unlikely victory against the Primetime players. Fantastic work by Chris Jericho, locking in that Walls of Jericho again, and it was just too much for Titus O'Neil. There's a double gutbuster by the Primetime players and Sheamus. And I just hear here, this is the first Walls of Jericho. Jericho rolling Titus O'Neil over. And Jericho decided to change his ideas here and go for a pin instead. That was only for a 1 count, and then Jericho just catches Titus O'Neil and just folds him straight underneath, locking the Walls of Jericho. A bit more of a painful one, that, because he pins the knee on the top of the neck as well. And before Darren Young could even come in and break the submission, Titus O'Neil had already tapped out to Chris Jericho. And Sheamus unhappy. I think Sheamus wanted to get the pin in this one. Sheamus is not happy at all. But Jericho cheering the victory. Now, next match here this evening will be Cody Rhodes taking on Mr. Money in the Bank, Finn Balor. Well, Damien Sandow making his way to ringside here. We saw Sandow and Cody Rhodes last week in a match. So what's Damien Sandow doing here? Very, very interesting situation, as Finn Balor takes an early advantage of that spinning kick, and Cody Rhodes could be out here straight away. Balor goes to the pin. No, not even a 1 count. Maybe not then. Of course, Finn Balor missed the Money in the Bank, as we've mentioned over recent weeks. Really needs to buck his ideas up. He did win that Money in the Bank ladder match, but apart from that, he's really been struggling to bring together any sort of victories. But back at his demon paint here this evening, he has Cody Rhodes up, and there's that underhook brainbust. This could be all. 1, 2, only a 2 count, and Finn Balor looks like he's come out here a lot more aggressive than we have seen him for a while now. Drop kick to the back of Cody Rhodes, and you see Damien Sandow distracting Cody Rhodes here, allowing Finn Balor to try and creep up behind Cody, but I think Cody saw it coming. And it looks like Damien Sandow's actually here. I don't know if he's here cheering on Finn Balor, or if he's here to try and affect Cody Rhodes. Of course, we said we saw Damien Sandow and Cody Rhodes face off last week, and it wasn't the nicest of fights, shall we say. There was a bit of heat there. And it looks like Damien Sandow is again distracting Cody Rhodes. Cody was in control of Finn Balor there for a second, and now Balor gets a chance to get back in control of this match. Again, twisting the arm of Cody. Now slamming a forearm down in it as well. The referee just allowing Damien Sandow's... well, I suppose he's not really interfering. He's just distracting him. It's Cody Rhodes' own fault for not paying the attention to Finn Balor like he should be. He's paid his attention to Damien Sandow. See, Finn Balor just stood there, just surveying the situation. Drop kick to the back of the head of Cody Rhodes. Now fingertips on the back of Cody, and locks him into a crossface chicken wing. Could this be all? And it is. Cody Rhodes taps out to Finn Balor's crossface chicken wing. And Finn Balor finally looks like he may have turned a corner here. Just his very aggressive start, that spinning kick. And we've seen, as I said, Finn Balor struggling over recent weeks since he won the Money in the Bank to pick up some victories. Granted, I think Damien Sandow did his part in distracting Cody Rhodes on several occasions, but Finn Balor picks up the victory here, and that's going to help him boost his momentum a little bit. Of course, he can cash in that briefcase at any point in time. Anytime he wants, he can cash that briefcase in. It could be at the next pay-per-view. It could be this evening. It could be any time at all. But Finn Balor finally looks like he's back. The demon taking over Finn Balor. And he's a different man all of a sudden. And now it's time for our main event here this evening as Bad News Barrett takes on Kevin Owens. And we know for a fact these two guys can't stand each other. Look, arguing before the match has even started, and Bad News Barrett accidentally taking the referee out. And this match is starting with no referee. And I don't think this is no much be a match. It's going to be more of a brawl between these two guys. Backdrop there by Kevin Owens on Bad News Barrett. Went for a dropkick, but Barrett just slaps it away. Referee's still down here now. Finally makes himself back to his feet. Kevin Owens. Great Samoan drop there on Bad News Barrett. And Kevin Owens really looking for retribution. As I mentioned earlier on this evening, Kevin Owens was due to be part of that fatal four-way elimination match at our last pay-per-view. I can't remember what our last pay-per-view was now. But he was due to be part of that fatal four-way elimination match, and for the United States Championship between Luke Harper, it was Luke Harper, Rusev, and Adrian Neville, I believe. But before the match started, Bad News Barrett, unhappy about not being on the card, attacked Kevin Owens backstage and just took his place in that match. Of course, as we know, Bad News Barrett was not successful in his attempt at taking the United States Championship as Neville walked out holding the belt. But either way, Kevin Owens is pretty much pissed off with Bad News Barrett. And I think Bad News Barrett is really going to feel the full wrath of Kevin Owens. These two guys, you see, as I mentioned, it's been more of a brawl than a wrestling match as such. There's going to be a lot of strikes, a lot of kicks. Owens again bringing Bad News Barrett back to his feet as another dropkick, sending him down hard. Owens went for the Inseguri but missed it, and Bad News Barrett with the punch to the gut, but again Owens this time with the dropkick again, taking Bad News Barrett down. Owens has Bad News Barrett in the headlock, gets around behind him, and there's a backdrop again by Kevin Owens. We saw him use that earlier in the match, and going for a pin. Only a 1 count. See, Kevin Owens now gets over the top of Bad News Barrett and takes him down. Looks like a sunset flip powerbomb. Going for a pin. A rope break there. Bad News Barrett's foot was underneath the ropes. One thing I've noticed about Bad News Barrett in this game, I don't know about if you guys have seen it as well, but it just looks like he's squinting all the time. As Owens takes him up. Oh, and a buckle bomb as well. Kevin Owens really showing some aggression here this evening. Rolling Bad News Barrett over. Rope break by Barrett. Again, he was too close to the ropes when Owens pinned him, and Owens really needs to check his ring position. That's twice now. This time going for a pin. Barrett centre the ring, but only for a 1 count. Again, Owens over the top of that sunset flip, but this time holds it for a pin, only for a 1 count though again. Barrett with a punch to the stomach, and now Owens with that front chancery. And just a big punch to the head there, and now just clubbing blows across the back. Brings Bad News back up to his feet, and there's the cutter. The Ace Crusher. 1, 2. No, only a 2 count. That was only a 2 count, but you see here Owens takes Bad News Barrett up. Package pile driver. That has to be game, set, match. Pulling Barrett into the middle of the ring. 1, 2, and 3. Kevin Owens picks up the victory here against Bad News Barrett. Gaining a little bit of retribution, but I dare to say that this is not the end we've seen of this feud. There's the Ace Crusher. Went for the pin, but it was only for a 2 count. It was close to a 3. And as soon as Bad News Barrett gets up, you see Owens just hooking the arms, and there's the package power driver. Pulls Barrett into the middle of the ring this time and hits the 3 count. Great win here for Kevin Owens. And I dare say we'll see these two guys fighting the whole way up to Hell in a Cell. What match we've got planned for them at Hell in a Cell? Not entirely sure yet. Maybe the actual Hell in a Cell match. We'll have to have a look. We're going to have a couple of cage matches already I've got planned in for the pay-per-view. But yeah, I like the idea of these two in a cell. I think it'll work quite well. It'll work well in a cell. Well in a cell. Like it. But anyway, guys, that is the end of this episode of the Current Day Rosters Monday Night Raw. I hope you've all enjoyed it. We've seen some interesting matches. We now know as well that, of course, Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler will both be part of that 6-man Hell in a Cell match for John Cena's WWE Championship at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view in a few weeks' time. It looks like Finn Balor has finally turned the corner and looks to be a lot more aggressive and picks up a victory here this evening. And, of course, Kevin Owens defeats his rival Bad News Barrett. If you could like this video, it'd be absolutely fantastic. It helps me out a lot. And, of course, subscribing will be 10 times better. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you in the next